Did you know that Krenko was often hired by Mr. Taz because he was paying well, and Krenko liked that. After Krenko accepted one of the jobs that Mr. Taz had for him, he received a glowing shift that was enchanted. Then he went to do the job. Why am I talking about these characters? For those of you who are not indoctrinated in Magic the Gathering, this is a bit of lore, connected to one of my favorite games, / obsessions. Lately not so much, but still, there's no other word for it. So, about Krenko. As you could guess, he's a goblin, and he's a big deal. He worked for it, and he became a big deal. Although he's a mob boss, as you could tell from the title of one of his cards. I am, as some might say, a filthy casual. So this is why I really enjoy playing Commander, or EDH. This was not an official way to play Magic the Gathering, but now it's the most popular. The decks are oversized, and you have a Commander, which is one of the 100 cards in the deck, but it's not actually in the deck because you have it all the time, not broken at all. Nonetheless, I actually enjoy it. So naturally, one of my decks is a Goblin deck. It's red and there are a lot of goblins. It could be kind of disgusting until the other players decide to gang up on you because you're annoying and they kill you. I really like Krenko as a commander because he's making a lot of goblins appear because he's a boss, a mob boss. But right now, people know that he is disgusting, so he always becomes the target because everyone hates him. I don't know what's the big deal. He just wins. But I have a solution. And my solution is to change my commander and put Krenko in the 99. So he's going to be one of the guys, but he's going to operate a little bit more in the shades. You don't know if he's going to appear or not. That's more, I don't know, interesting. I was browsing through the hundreds of cards and I stumbled upon a red card with an effect that I really liked, but there's a big but. I don't like the art. Lately, Wizards have been going overboard with alternative arts and Universes Beyond, which is bleh. But I'm not going to talk about this right now. I'm going to talk about my frustration with the card I liked, and the problem is that the only version you have for this card is with an anime goblin. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind this art style in general, but not in this context, not in this game. I just don't like it, and I wouldn't have a problem if there was a version that looked more like a magic card and not like this. Ranting over, I have a simple solution for this. I'll just draw it myself and make it look how I want it to. So I should probably start drawing. The card I'm drawing is called General Kreat, the Boltbringer. So it's almost a commander already, which is nice. It's a leader, which is also nice. Its ability is whenever one or more goblins you control attack, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. Whenever another creature you control enters, General Kreat the Boltbringer deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty sweet, because I want a lot of goblins, and this is a good commander that will deal a lot of damage. Unfortunately, probably because it's from Foundation's Jumpstart, there isn't a lot of lore that Wizards gave this character. The only thing we know is that she's a green-skinned female goblin with white hair and red uniform. General Kreat is a Boros general, despite it is only mono red, but we'll leave it at that. She carries an electrified sword, which is pretty nice, pretty cool visual. And she's from Ravnica. That's the Boros part, but nothing else. We don't know anything about General Kreat, the Boltbringer. Anyway, thumbnails. You should do them. I'm not doing them often enough because normally I'm thinking on the go, when I'm drawing, but this time I decided to try it. It was actually a good exercise. And the interesting thing is that because of the lack of lore, I was struggling to get an idea about what to do that is just not a goblin with a lightning sword. And the first 6 thumbnails were okay, but then I thought it could be more interesting to make it a bit more story driven. This is why I started thinking about a little story. And General Kreat, being a Boros general, made me think that actually she and Krenko might have met. And also, do you remember in the beginning of the video that I mentioned that certain Mr. Taz gave Krenko a glowing shiv that was enchanted, and maybe our general met Krenko at some point, stole his shiv and improved it, because of course General Kreat is going to be smart. You don't become a Boros general being a goblin that easy, I could imagine. That's why she has to be somewhat impressive. And now she has a sword that bolts you even though you're not a bird. As you can see, I definitely liked one of the thumbnails more, so I decided to draw a bit more on it and make it more defined, but not much. And after that, I grabbed the thumbnail, made it bigger, and make the UI elements for the card so I could see better the composition that I need to do and move around stuff that are obstructed by the UI so I could recompose it better. I slapped some local colors so I could go from there, and it already looks better in my opinion. I'm doing a lot of different stuff in parallel because in my mind I already have decided most of the things and how are they going to look. I'm painting different parts of the painting and it probably looks a bit scatterbrained, but this is how I work and how I problem solve. I looked at some Boros uniforms and I wanted to loosely base the design on what some of the Boros uniforms and armor looks like. But also I wanted to look like it's a goblin, so nothing too fancy. I like the detail on the chest and how I painted it because it gives her the feeling that she's a part of an army. I wanted to make it as dynamic as possible, so this is why everything is on a diagonal. A little bit of theory for those who care. She's a general and that is why I wanted an army to be present behind her and look more like she's in the middle of a battle or the beginning of a battle. Also, I was having a lot of fun with the electric sword because it's a very cool way to play with shape design, and I think it works well with the whole composition. I like when wizards are making these cars where the illustration, it's like getting out of the frame, so it's overlapping with the UI, and that is why I did the same. I think it makes her pop a little bit more. I don't like over-rendering stuff. I thought it would be a nice touch if her eyes had lightning as well, because why not? She would look even more menacing, and probably there's even a deeper lore about how she improved that stolen shiv and made it better. Maybe she had a help from somebody. Her face is definitely more like goblin that I like. It has big nose, big mouth, big ears, but overall it's small because it's a goblin. I enjoy doing these kinds of projects, and I have done quite a bit of illustrations for Magic, unfortunately not official, because for some reason Wizards do not acknowledge me. That's alright, we'll get there someday. It is a good exercise doing these illustrations, and you also have the benefit to play with a card that you made. I think I always have been a do-it-yourself person. This is why I think I gravitate towards such projects. Also, please, Wizards, think about it. every time I deep dive into Magic the Gathering lore and see how vast is the world that they created through the years, I feel inspired. It would be very cool if they bring more world building as they used to. I know it's not making that much money, but still, the world is so cool and it's so badly represented that you don't even give it a chance. I remember how I stumbled upon a very long video, like 1 hour and something, where Spice A-Track, big fan by the way, if you're miraculously watching, tells the whole story of Magic the Gathering. I encourage you to watch it because the story is amazing, if you want to get into that part and not just a cool game.
That's it for now. Bye.